PT. So this is like a kind of a good lesson of kind of the good side of the basket of being in a group chat. So I was long this. I was buying up through 118, and it was starting to look more like a short. And a lot of the guys want to short it down through 113. And I usually never let the group affect my trades. If they want to short it, I'm long. Doesn't matter to me. But in this case, I was like, you know what? Let me up this stop by $1 because everyone's looking to short it. I'm looking long. I'm probably wrong. So let me tighten up my risk. And I got ticked out like the day before. The day it held, like it held 114 to the penny. I got ticked out like 113.89. And I mean, again, this trade still has done nothing, hasn't broken up, but I locked in a loss where it didn't necessarily fail just yet. So that was just, again, there's good sides to the chat room. Also,
yeah,
there can be a little bit.
Let me jump in real quick. What's really funny about that is though, I talk about this too in my section of the good trade, bad trade, where it's like I got short on that 113.89, and the fact that it just swarmed up, came right back in my face. Like I was in that trade for literally like 10 minutes maybe.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I acted quickly and decided once I saw it wasn't like a flurry of stops breaking support hard, I got out of the trade. And if you didn't talk to me that day, I bet you wouldn't have covered that.
No, I wouldn't have been on my radar at all. I had like that one, was it 112.89? Wasn't even watching it. And I was like, everyone's talking about it in the morning. I'm like, okay, let me save the $1. But you lost money short. I lost money long. And it's like, what's going on? But that was, again, the bad one, but not the crazy. I mean, losing, was it, $2.50 on a $114 stock. It was nothing to really lose sleep over from a percentage standpoint.
I think it looks pretty good as a support buy at this area, to be honest. Sorry. I covered my short in 10 minutes when I saw the buying. It looks good. I mean, I have better setups that I'm more excited about, so I'm not going to trade it. But
I know.
I was saying, to torment you should buy it back.
They don't want to buy it, it's going to die.
Yeah.
And then the one good trade was this MTB. Again, the financial names finally started to wake up this past week or so. So we bought this 160, very easy buy stop, and just kind of ripped 4 days in a row. It ran into that 170, which if you zoom out, it's been kind of like a soft level of resistance, and we saw it kind of quickly reverse. So I got stopped out that little like doji day. Again, it's kind of just flagging out now, but it was just like a very easy swing, easy 4-day swing, catching 8 points in it. Can't really complain there. So that was an easy little swing to make up for that PFPT.
All right.
And then we can jump into top.
Let me jump into my good trade, bad trade real quick. All right, good trade, bad trade. Let's go over all the trades from the past week or so. So I'm going to start with the big winner is this NDAQ. Me and Carly B got paid for our patience in this one. So nice little trend line here. Working on a big macro pattern. But here's the trade here. This was earnings day right here. Kind of failed that. Shook out. So this got on my radar when I was initially looking at this through 100 on earnings day. Missed that trade, thankfully, because it didn't work out. So then it has this tight inside day. I bought through the high of that inside day, just a feeler, against this 98 support. It does really nothing for a week, and it comes down. I think I'm going to get stopped out on this day, November 5th. It comes down to 97.90. I have a 97.89 stop. Sometimes you get blessed in this game. So then the next day, I saw a huge volume coming off of support in that 99 area, and I had a huge ad. And here's the funny thing, and here's the great part about being in a group setting with trading. Me and Carly B, we were sitting in this name all week, and it was like I was staring at it. It was giving me pain. I thought it was going to break out. It came back to support, all this BS. Higgins, after I call out, it's like time for the big ad on NDAQ. This was his first entry. This is the first time he bought the stock. And so he's just been, chilling with great stock. So me and Carly B, patience had to pay. Higgins got paid with the easy money. But just trading this one against support, moving the stop up to 100 here, sitting in this one. It looks really, really good going forward. I think if I wasn't in the stock, I would be saying I got to watch out for a flag by 105 because it's going after this big macro level a third time. So I'm really happy with the position I got on. This is my heaviest position. Pretty psyched on it. This TRI, this was the trade of the week this week. I just got in this one today. Had to buy it right off the open. I'm still giving this one down to this 66 support here. Give it a little red line for. So this is my stop here. So even if all right, so I didn't get absolutely massive size on this because it went right off the open, and I wanted to give it that that $2. I wanted to give it the proper stop because it went literally 9:30 in like 8 seconds. You had to buy it. So if you're buying that with a low day stop, the probability is just not on your side, especially on a Monday morning. BAH, shouts out to the 15-minute rule. So I bought a feeler in this one last week. All right, here's the trade. This was their initial earnings day. We see the resistance level right here, like 72.50-ish. Breaks out similar to that NDAQ where it couldn't hold on to that move, but it created support at this little old resistance level. So I bought a feeler into here. So today it opens up, gaps down, and my stop was 71. But it opened up, and I gave it the 15-minute rule where we wait 15 minutes to see it put in a low if it gaps down on us. And it put in a low of 70.80. My stop would have been 70.89. I would have gotten pushed out right off the open. But because of the 15-minute rule, I was able to hang on, and now I have great stock. My stop moves to below this pivot now, 70.79. Let's move right on to Microsoft is the best. I mean, I haven't gotten a chance to add. I wish I did. Whoa, not a stop. Resistance. So we bought here earnings day, noticing the big macro pattern, gaps up. We sold some into this move, and now I just have great stock, and I'm holding on. I moved my stop up to this low, 142.49 ish. Yeah, 142.49. Give it the red line for the stop. Moving right along, this PPG. This has been the best trade so far this earnings season for me. Whoa. So we can see it's got this huge macro level. And when stocks break things on earnings, it's a huge catalyst. I was able to buy 120 with a stop below 119. Sold some. I sold some towards the end of last week. I really don't want to rush to move my stop up in this one because let's look at a weekly chart. Let me just moving averages. If we look at a weekly chart, this is such a massive pattern breaking. I don't want to be super, super cute with my stops. I sold what I needed to sell to book profit in the trade, and it looks really good going forward, but I don't want to move my stop up to below 128 just yet. My stop is still this 122.49 or whatever it is, this low. Yeah, 122.49. Because I want to, it takes time for these things, these huge, huge patterns to work out. We can remember Lulu from last year. Lulu broke this huge level on earnings. See, finally sold our Lulu 20% gain when this shit is up 100% or 200% almost in that time. Lulu had this massive level at 80. See, we were talking about it then. At 82.83, it broke on earnings, and then it created this ridiculous uptrend for the stock, breaking that huge level on earnings. So, I mean, these are the trades you want to stay in, however you can. Let me get some moving averages. Moving right along. Oh, here's a nice little loss I took last week. So I'll tell you the mistake I made in this trade. So it's ISRG. Here was the great buy. I bought a feeler here, giving it to this low. So now I'm sitting with good stock. And now when it looks to break out, the breakout buy that I need to work this second, because let's look at, this is a weekly chart. We can see huge level overhead. Huge level right here, consolidating on earnings. Back to a daily chart. So I'm looking at this entry above this earnings high to be the entry for this 580, 590 macro break. So what I did last week, I bought on the breakout for this. So this was the right buy. This is the calculated buy right here. This one. I'm buying this against support. I don't need it to work this second. I can just chill and let the stock work out, knowing if it breaks support, I'm wrong. And then I have to get out of the trade. When I'm buying here for breakout, I need it to work that day. Now, the one thing we know about trading, the tighter your stop, the better your timing has to be. So for all this stock, so I sat with a small position here when ideally this is when I buy all my stock against this low, and I don't have to be so cute. So then I go for the add on this day, and as you can see, it just fails. And I lose money on now whatever I bought here. I got stopped out the next day. So I bought probably like 4 times as much stock as I bought down here. So now it becomes a losing trade for me when I had such great stock down here and I kind of ruined it with the ad. Now, I was definitely going for it. I want a big position for this break, and I'll be in it. I'm looking maybe to add again against this 540 support tomorrow on the way up. We'll see how that plays out. But because I tried the breakout buy, my timing had to be so on point. That's why I lost money in that trade. So big mistake there. Have to recognize the difference. How much better of a probabilistic setup it is to buy against the support level rather than just through resistance where it has to work this second. Moving right along, Intel strong as bull, strong like bull. Just trying to stay in this one. I'm going to trail most of my stock here on the 8-day simple moving average, but again, I'm going to keep some wide because these earnings look like they're game changing just by the price action alone. TAL, I've been trading this one really well. We bought an earnings day, sold some into strength, rebought on the pivot, sold some into strength, and now here's the mistake I made last week, trailing too tightly. I was trailing some on this 8-day simple moving average, but when you're trailing on that, you're supposed to wait for a close below the level. So do you see how this low of 42.36 is just below all these lows, which is pretty much 42.40. So I gave up some stock here, and it was just the low of the day, pretty much. And so that's a really bad selling job on my part. I got to take it off into strength or keep it wide and not get shaken out for the big move. That happens, though. It's tough. This JBHT, I got stopped out of today. Once it broke this pivot to the downside, we entered here on the strength. Transporter strong, earnings flag. Entered that day, got literally stayed in this trade by a few cents as it pivoted right at 116. Sold some into strength 122, 120 area. And I got out today. This one still looks fine on a macro front. I maybe you could have made the case I could still keep my original stop, but I was pretty comfortable with the way I traded that one. SNBR sleep number. This was we're gonna call this one the cock tease of the week. We bought this breakout, earnings breakout, so strong, such strong volume. I didn't sell anything, and usually I'm paying for the trade right away, same day. But the volume was so good, and this name looked like it was gonna rip through new highs that I didn't want to sell any. I didn't take any off. So that was mistake number one for me. I have to trade all stocks and all setups the same way. If I'm going to pay for the trade in one trade, I have to do it in all trades. So not paying for the trade hurt me here because I completely gave the stock back and I took a loss on it when I was up, enough to pay for it, which is greater than 3 to 1. I usually take off a third. PFPT, looking for revenge. Hilarious. I was getting ready to short this name last week. I did short it. I shorted it right through. So you see this 114 level. And if we don't look at the 2 days and put in a pivot, this thing looks like it's going to absolutely die. We traded it up here. I took a big loss in it. So now it's setting up for a short, and I go to short it, and I'm wrong again. But what I did really well in this, so my style of shorting, I'm not looking for huge macro shorts like I am to the long side. If I'm shorting a stock, I want to short it at an inflection point so I see a reaction right away. We can look at this NDAQ trade where I sat in it for a week. It didn't do anything for a week, and I was comfortable just sitting in it. PFBT, I shorted this below this 114, and literally, it's tough to see. Oh, I guess you could see it pretty well. The moving averages mess it up. But I hit it through this 114 and just such strong buying that I covered it within like 6 minutes of being in the trade. Because it ripped back in my face. So for the shorts, when I'm shorting at inflection points, I need to see reactions right away. But long swing trading, I don't need to see it. I need to just stay in the trade and be told I'm completely wrong. I know theoretically that doesn't make a lot of sense, but I have a long bias and I make all my money swing trading to the long side. So I know my strengths. Market's in an uptrend, so that's where I'm going to focus. And now, here's the dumb fuck move of the week. So I talk about this BABA in last week's chart talk. I'm like, you can't keep it tight. You got to give it the proper room. All this shit. So then we see Momo absolutely break out of this little consolidation. We see JD absolutely break out of this consolidation. So we're thinking Momo, which has been a great consolidation, is next. So I believe it was this day. So I buy it this day, and what I do is I give 4/5 of my position to this cheap low of day stop, and I give 1/5 to this 174 because I know that's the proper out. So then I get ticked out by literally cents. And BABA, I know, is not a name you can trade on a day trading time frame. You have to give that to true support. You can't really sneak in the name because you're always going to get pushed out. I put this in the category with Facebook where it's a high beta, but it's also really thick and moves a lot. So in my experience, you get your stops run a lot more often in those names. So by taking a loss and getting ticked out on 4/5 of my position, yes, I'm up in the trade. My price like 180, 180, 182-ish. And it's looking good. But now if I sell it at like 190, 192, it's like a break-even trade because I took a loss on 4/5. So if I could go back, I would have either done a half and half stop where I give half to that low and then half the proper room. But doing 4/5 didn't make any sense because now now the trade can work out well and I'm only going to break even. So that was my dumb fuck trade of the week. That fucking Baba. I hate day trading this name. I love the name, love the company, but just has my mark day trading. But really, it's just keeping it way too tight. So that's the majority of things I did this week. My plate is pretty full from a swing trading front. As you can see, I'm not looking to add a ton. So there are a ton of setups out there, and I'm trying to help guys as much as I can. But I'm not adding a ton of positions. I have a lot of this NDAQ, a lot of this TRI, Booz Allen Hamilton, Microsoft. So I got these good swings going on. I don't want to ruin them by selling them too early and trying to get in new positions. So I'm trying to help out as many people as I can with all setups. But I'm not looking to add a ton right now. I'm just sitting in winners and slowly looking for more winners. But very comfortable with what I have on. All right, let's get back into the